Hello, welcome to Chapter 2, homework questions 96 through 100. Question 96, which equation below has no solution? Explain how you know. Well, let's go ahead and solve the 2, and then we can maybe figure out why we know it has no solution. So we'll distribute the 4 to get 4x plus 4 is equal to 2x plus 4. Now on this one, we're going to notice, right, when we go to subtract the x term, we know we're going to get a solution because we're left with 2x plus 4 equals 4. So our variable didn't cancel out. Now if you want to go ahead and finish solving it, that's perfectly fine, just to kind of verify what we're thinking here. We do get an answer of 0, but that is an answer, and that's perfectly fine. So it must be B. Let's take a look at B. Combine our like terms. That would be 11 minus 5x is equal to 4 minus 5x. Now once again, we're going to combine or get our variables on the same side, and while we do this, what you might notice is since the same term is on the left and on the right, then when we go to add the 5x, it's going to cancel on both sides and leave us with a statement that is not true. So which equation below has no solution? That would be equation B, and we know this because we just solved it and we found out on part B our variable term canceled out. Question 97. Rena says that if x equals negative 5, the equation below is true. Her friend Dean says the answer is x equals 3. Who is correct? Justify your conclusion. Well, we could plug in the numbers for each of those and see who is correct, or we could solve it. So whichever one you kind of think is going to work best. I'm going to go ahead and just solve it because the equation's not too terrible here. So we just distribute, and then we're going to subtract 2x to both sides. That'll give us 7x plus 36 equals 1. Subtract 36. 7x is equal to negative 35. Divide by 7. And x is equal to negative 5. So it appears Rena is the one that is correct, and we justified it by solving it. We could also show that Dean is incorrect by plugging 3 in, and we should get a statement that is not true. So we'll just do this kind of pretty quickly here. So we'll get 63 on the left, where you can see that the number on the right is going to be a lot smaller than that. And it's not equivalent, so it doesn't work. So Dean's answer would not make sense. And then another way that you could do this, as I said earlier, is Rena, you could plug in x equals negative 5 and show that it does work. So I'll show that real quick here as well. If we plug in negative 5, we get 9 times negative 1, which is negative 9. Where on this side, it's 1 minus 10, which is also equal to negative 9. So you can see that in Rena's case, it does work. Question 98. Sally ordered her groceries online. She accidentally ordered 120 pounds of flour instead of 10 and only uses 5 pounds of flour every 2 months. What is the rate of growth for this situation, including the units? So we see that she only uses 5 pounds for every 2 months, so that is decreasing. So on part A, she uses 5 pounds per every 2 months. And so if we simplify that, we could actually write this as a unit growth rate, which would be negative 2.5 pounds, LBS is pounds, per 1 month. So that is the rate of growth on this one, and it's actually decreasing. B, write an equation that represents this situation. Well, she accidentally ordered 120 pounds of flour, so that's where she's going to start with 120 pounds, and it'll go down 2.5 pounds per month, so that then you can add on the initial, which is 120 pounds. So the initial is 120 pounds of flour, and the rate of growth is the negative 2.5. Question number 99. Graph the equation negative 2x plus 9, so we need 2 pieces of information. The slope and the y-intercept on this one, because it's in slope-intercept form, it'll work out nice. 0, 9, down 2, to the right 1, so you're just creating those slope triangles as you go along here. And you don't have to plot a bunch of points, but you get a couple in there and use a straight edge to draw your line. Question 100, write the equation of the function in the table below. So pay attention to how x is growing, so it's adding 2 in the table each time. Whereas y, you have a plus 14 each time. So in terms of your growth rate, the change of y over the change of x is 14 over 2. And be careful because the table is set up with the x on top and the y on bottom, but with slope it's y over x. So make sure you write that correctly. So our slope is going to be 7. And then because our slope is 7, you might be able to figure out what right here, because we want to know what the y-intercept is, between -1 and 1 is 0. Well, if I'm growing at a rate of 7, then this should be a 9. Because 2 plus 7 is 9, 9 plus 7 is 16. So you could do it that way. Another way is you could take one of your points and your slope and plug it into your equation and solve that way as well. So we got a couple options in terms of how we want to do this. We subtract the 7, and that would give us 9 is equal to b. And same thing that we got just a second ago using the table. Y is equal to 7x plus 9. So once again, different ways to approach this problem in terms of how you see it and what you recognize.